my lovelies, Elsie here with a collective read. What is a collective read? It's for all of you. It doesn't matter what your sign is. You may show up in this reading and you may not. So I'm going to call it the signs and symbols so you will know what it means for the signs and symbols. And please use your intuitive self. Please use your discernment. Put your little tinfoil intuitive hat on. And you can decide if this reading is for you. And it's tarot, a general reading of tarot's all perspective. So let's find out what's going on for the collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about the collective energy, please. Tell me about the collective energy. Tell me about the collective. All right. What's this here? We've got Ten of Swords and the Justice. Feels like someone here is quite justified in letting something go, in releasing someone or something, a situation. It feels like, you know what, it feels like you had to hit rock bottom before you did that. It also could mean someone here has been terribly hurt or has been feeling very betrayed or did hit rock bottom in a legal situation. It could indicate that somebody you know, maybe not you, but somebody you know has hit rock bottom and is now in legal trouble. It could be that as well. Tell me more about this. The Six of Wands in the reverse. It does feel like there is feels like it's a winless situation is what it feels like. I've got Justice here, and it does more and more feel like there is some sort of a betrayal. It could be a betrayal that ends up in the legal system. I'm just gonna dive for a card here. And yeah. Let me just get more cards here. Oof. Oh boy. We've got the Tower, Queen of Swords. We've got Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. We've got Scorpio energy. We've got Leo. And we've got the Hanged Man energy, Piscean energy here. You know, it looks like collective that there is something that is being brought back to order because someone is about to speak their truth. The truth is causing a tower. And don't forget that we do have a Scorpio full moon coming up on Monday. I feel like something is being brought to the surface through the tower falling. It feels like this justice energy here has to do, for some of you, this could be legal. For some of you, this is karmic. It could be a karmic situation or a karmic person, but it does feel like justice is here and justice is being served is what it feels like. Now that could mean something legal to you, or it could just mean something because the Ten of Swords is here, that you're feeling justified in releasing the situation, the person, because they're a betrayer, they're a person who lied to you. It feels like whatever comes to the surface here, and it feels like it might be something emotional that comes to the surface, the truth is about to be told. And when the truth comes out, that's when the tower falls. It feels like somebody was sort of hanging out with this energy of, I don't know whether to say it or not. I need to get more time to think about it. I need more perspective. But ultimately, the Queen of Swords is going to do the right thing. When in the upright, the Queen of Swords is somebody who is going to take all of the feeling out of it. You can see her heart is in this little jail down here, and is going to keep the boundaries in the correct place. You can see her sword is between you and her. So whether, and I say her because there's a woman on the card, but please understand we're talking about feminine or masculine energies, and whether you are a woman or a man, you could be leaning masculine or feminine in your energies. Either way, the Queen of Swords is somebody, well, I always like to say, is not a hit at parties, because that person is just going to be honest with you regardless of what is going on. This person feels compelled to speak the truth. I feel like this is a no-win situation, that somebody is going to say something. But I want to say that it feels like the Queen of Swords, or whoever the Queen of Swords energy is, has been holding back in order to contribute or remain in balance. In order to contribute to balance or remain in balance, this person has been holding back for a really long time, with the Knight of Pentacles being here. Because I think that the Queen of Swords is being honest with themselves. Like the Queen of Swords, I feel, is feeling like this is only my perspective. maybe it's only my perspective. Maybe it's not the perspective of everybody who's involved in the situation. And so I think that's why the Queen has been holding back or taking their time to reassess, sort of get practical, look at the details, reassess. I'm moving at it slowly. It feels like somebody here has been holding back because they know that whatever they speak, because whenever the King of Swords or the Queen of Swords speaks their mind, it causes transformation. It causes transformation because it is ultimately the truth, and you can back it up with facts. This is not somebody just speaking out their ass. This is somebody who's got the facts. It feels like the Six of Wands in the reverse is telling me that somebody's been hiding something under the surface. Something's been hiding, or they were hoping that it was going to stay under the surface. Tell me what this Justice card is, please. We've got the Seven of Pentacles. We've got the Page of Swords. And we've got the Star. Look, I really do feel that the Queen of Swords has been watching this whole situation transpire from a distance. It feels like the Seven of Pentacles being here, this Queen knows I can choose to take a different route. I can choose to ignore it. I can choose to hold back. I can choose to throw my seeds of intention in another direction and then nurture that path and keep my back to the tower. I feel like this Queen understands the importance of the position of speaking honestly. And so I feel like this is the place of contemplation for the Queen of Swords. Now look, the Queen of Swords can be a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, but it doesn't have to be. How many people do you know who are truth talkers who are not in air energy? I'm one of them. I think I have the only air placement that I have is in my South Node, and that's Libra. And I have no energy that is air energy in my chart besides that. And so you don't have to have air in your chart. Neither does the person you're dealing with in order for them to be the Queen of Swords. They just need to be someone who's invested in telling the truth, bringing the facts, and taking the feeling out of it. I'm not going to be doing this with a heartfelt plea. This is going to be absolute honesty and truthfulness. It feels like this person is trying to observe from a distance, and it feels like it's hard not to look at. It feels like it's there, staring everybody in the face. But I feel like the Queen of Swords is the only one who is brave enough to say something, because the Queen of Swords is very brave. Tell me why the Six of Wands is in the reverse. It feels like there's somebody here who is hoping that something was going to stay under the surface, that it wouldn't be noticed. We've got the Devil energy. Well, isn't that interesting? We've got the Judgment card. And we've got the King of Cups. So I feel like it has to do, possibly, like I just can't ignore. We've got a couple of Scorpio placements here, and it feels like somebody intended on keeping something under the surface. The Judgment card is here. Look, when Judgment is here, everything comes to light. Everything comes to the surface. You can't hide anything from the universe, and Judgment is a card that is of the major arcana, and so is the Devil. So this is happening 100%. It's just how is the fallout going to happen, and how are we going to deal with it? The Devil energy is next to the Judgment card. I feel like someone already has a plan to lie their way out of this. When it comes to light and somebody feels as though it might, somebody who's been trying to keep it under the surface, keep a poker face. It doesn't have to be someone who's a Scorpio, a Pisces, or a Cancer. We do have Aquarius here as well. We do have Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy here. It feels like the King of Cups is giving me the energy of, I'm just going to play it stoic on the surface. I'm going to give him the poker face. And if I give him the poker face, nobody's going to figure it out. But I think that whoever is responsible for the perversion of keeping everything under the surface, and I don't mean that in a sexual connotation, please understand. I mean that somebody's trying to pervert the truth. When the Justice shows up, it's like you cannot not see the truth, because it feels like there is a There is a second chance to be had here for someone to tell the truth, but I think that they're choosing to keep whatever toxicity it is out of the limelight and under the surface. And I'm giving you the stoic face. I'm not going to tell you the truth. What's going on over here? Tell me about this. We've got the High Priestess, but somebody knows. Somebody knows. Look, you cannot keep anything from the High Priestess. Again, Major Arcana energy. This High Priestess already knows what's going on. Knows that somebody plans on being quiet and slipping off into the future with whatever this energy is. It feels like the Six of Swords is telling me that the High Priestess knows what's going on. The High Priestess has a knowing, right? It feels like the Queen of Swords could be a High Priestess that has a knowing. I already know what's going on. I've just been quiet about it. So I feel like we're talking about someone separate from this person. It feels like, and maybe it's not even a Scorpio, Pisces, or a Cancer we're talking about. Please don't get stuck to the signs. I feel like what's going on here is that there is somebody here who has already been found out by someone who is psychic or intuitive or a card reader, somebody who already knows what's going on and has chosen not to say anything because they don't want to upset the future. Tell me about the Three of Wands, please. I'm just going to move along, says the High Priestess. I see it, but it's not my place to say it. We've got the Eight of Swords. Oh boy. Yeah. We've got the Two of Wands. Excuse me. And we've got the Death card. I think that the High Priestess, whoever the High Priestess is, they could be a Pisces. They don't have to be. It could be any sign, really. I mean, I'm a High Priestess, right? Whoever has the knowledge of what's going on under the surface, the seer, whoever that is somebody who's in the Eight of Swords. Somebody who feels as though if they say something, they feel like their hands are tied, first of all. Their hands are tied. I don't know that I see the situation exactly for as it is. It feels like somebody here is trusting in their intuition, but they're trusting that whoever is keeping things hidden under the surface or trying not to bring things to light is going to be someone who's going to come clean with it. The Two of Wands and the Death card are here. And it feels like there is a plan. I'm going to say there is a plan that I think the High Priestess has, and that is that if this person will not take action, if they will not leave the Two of Wands, if they will not leave this crossroads of their life and take action on the situation, then I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to blow it up. I'm going to say something. I have to. Tell me what the situation is, please. Tell me what the situation is. It could be something that has to do with a drug problem or a drinking problem or somebody who can see through it. If you're a High Priestess, let me know. You're somebody who can assess the situation, know what's going on, and you're shocked that no one else sees it. Tell me the situation. We've got the Nine of Cups. Charlie just said it's somebody who's acting quite happy on the surface, quite carefree on the surface, and underneath they are in the Nine of Wands energy. This is somebody who is very broken, hurt, has endured a lot. And we have the Eight of Wands. This is somebody who makes snap decisions, somebody who feels like they're fooling everybody. Excuse me, still getting over my cold. I've got the Devil energy here, and I feel like with the Devil energy here, somebody feels like they're smarter, faster, stronger than everyone else in the room. They feel like they've got the High Priestess fooled. It feels like there is something that's under the surface that I feel somebody here is making a snap decision to say something. This High Priestess is making a snap decision to say something, but it's after much deliberation, it feels like. Whatever is to be said here is, I feel, is going to cause a tower, and we'll get to that in a moment. Tell me about the Hanged Man and the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is carefully observing from a distance with the Page of Swords, and watching and waiting. I feel like the person who is probably the Queen of Swords is likely the High Priestess. This person's waiting for this person to come clean. Is like wanting them to say it out loud by themselves. The situation, I feel, is somebody who is not used to telling the whole truth, maybe giving half-truths about things. Somebody who is playing under the surface, or somebody who disappears for once in a while. If you know somebody who's got some type of an addiction in your life, you'll know that's what happens. They'll go underground for a while, and then all of a sudden they emerge and they're fine. And I feel like somebody is keeping something that is quite toxic, aggressively toxic, Charlie just said. So it is somebody who's in a full-blown issue of toxicity. Now, that could mean many things. Listen, this person could be married, and maybe it's the worst marriage ever, and on the surface, they make everything look fine. But when they go home, it's a complete hell for them. This person could be living in toxicity and is thinking about making a decision to possibly tell people, but they show up with the happy face. It could be someone who's living in an abusive relationship. Somebody who disappears for times, maybe 9 months at a time, or maybe 9 days at a time. We've got the card number 9 here. But they are somebody who I feel somebody else knows what's going on, because they are the High Priestess. So the Queen of Swords is here. I feel like the Queen of Swords and the High Priestess might be the same person. This person understands, or maybe they're an addictions counselor and they know the pattern. Tell me about the Queen of Swords and the Hanged Man, because I think that this person is holding back and not taking charge of the situation, because they want the person who's having the hard time. They don't want to out anybody. They want them to say something. They want them to walk away from the situation. They're waiting for that person to take charge of the situation. Now look, we could be dealing in a delicate situation where the person that we're talking about is the Emperor, whether they're feminine or masculine. This person could be someone who owns corporations, who owns businesses, who on the surface seems very put together and everything is going fine. And then under the surface, this is somebody who goes home to an abusive situation. We have the Eight of Cups, and so I feel like the High Priestess, who is probably the Queen of Swords, is waiting for this person to take charge, to stand up and take some action, waiting for them to disconnect, walk away, or use their discernment, detach from the situation. I feel like the person who has all the information, who's the Queen of Swords, that person is somebody who doesn't want to out anybody in their situation, but it does feel like ultimately this is what's happening here. Somebody hits rock bottom, and it all blows to smithereens. Tell me what's going on here. Tell me what's going on with the Tower. We have the Seven of Wands. We have the King of Swords. And we have the Ace. Sorry, not the Ace, but the Fool. I feel as though this could be an abusive relationship, possibly. It feels as though there is somebody here who wants to tell someone, but instead of telling people the heartbreak they're going through, they actually just disconnect. They disconnect and go underground. So we could be talking about someone who has an addiction, but we also could be talking about someone whose addiction is they can't get out of an abusive relationship. It feels like with the Fool and the King of Swords here, that somebody knows they need a divorce. They need a new beginning. They need a lawyer. And so whether that means that they are in a relationship that's committed, like a marriage, or maybe we live together, or maybe I have an addiction and it's going to take maybe this King of Swords is an addictions counselor, but we do have the Seven of Wands here. And so it does feel like somebody keeps themselves in some sort of protective bubble, right? It seems like if I keep myself in the protective bubble and I keep people at bay, put up my boundaries, no one's ever going to know that I'm dealing in this really hard, disconnected sort of situation where it feels like conversations go off the rails. It feels like it's aggressive because we have the Knight of Swords here. It's aggressive words that lead to disconnection. This person could be going in and out of a relationship that is kind of heartbreaking, is what it feels like. And it feels like it's a long-term. These people could be high school sweethearts. They could be people who have been together forever. People would look at them from the outside looking in and say, they're fine. There's nothing there. Those two people are never going to break up. But I really do feel like somebody here is dealing in a very heartbreaking situation. Tell me, give me an outcome, please. Tell me what to do here. Okay, so first of all, I'll say we could be dealing with Aries. We've got a couple of Scorpio, 3 times Scorpio placements. We've got Virgo and Pisces. We've got Capricorn energy. We've got Libra, Aries, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. We've got the Queen and the King of Swords here together. And so it could be these two people that argue and fight. We do have Gemini a couple of times here as well. We've got Aquarius. Tell me what the possible outcome is here, please. What needs to go on here? We've got the Queen of Pentacles. Things need to stabilize here. We've got the Knight of Wands. One person could be stepping out in the relationship at this time. We've got the Empress. So somebody is the Empress here. And this Empress might be the one who's in some sort of a toxic situation that they can't get out of. And it might be because of monetary things. I don't know how many times I've spoken to people who have been married for 20 years, but it should have been over at year 10, but they never left because they had the big house, the car, they had a bank account, they had a spouse who was making all the money and keeping them in the material things. So I feel like it's the material things that is keeping the Empress in the relationship that I feel is not a healthy one at this time. It feels like one of the people in the relationship is likely stepping out, while the other one is the one who is working, making all the money, paying all the bills, being the responsible one. So we do have the Empress. And look, the Empress can be feminine or masculine. Taurus is feminine, Libra is masculine. So it can be feminine or masculine energy. It does feel like the reason they're not leaving is because of monetary things, because of material wealth. What happens from here? We've got the 3 of Cups, we've got the 8 of Pentacles, we've got the Temperance card. Somebody decides that they have to heal themselves. They can no longer keep on with the facade. Yeah, they can no longer keep on with the lies. They can no longer keep on with the facade. Temperance is here. I feel like the Empress is likely to get an attack of consciousness. And, the thing is that this person, the Empress is usually not a person who would deal in a situation like this. But listen, you can become the Empress whilst living in the situation where maybe you got into the situation, or the Empress gets into the situation, and they weren't an Empress when they got into the situation. But it feels like somebody here can no longer keep it quiet. They can no longer lie about it. And it's time to get creative with the way that maybe I've got to do a little more work on myself. See, the 8 of Pentacles tells me that possibly this person was not an Empress when they got into this situation, but they grew to be the Empress through taking care of themselves, through really looking over themselves. This relationship has grown them into the Empress. And now when we're the Empress, now we realize our worth. Now it's time to go. So I feel like somebody is about to come forward. And so don't be shocked when somebody comes forward here, because it feels like with the Two of Swords here and the Magician, that somebody has decided to remove the block. I just have to use my intuition. I have to use the skills and the tools and the resources that I have to find a new place to live, because this thing is not going anywhere. It feels like something has just stopped dead in its tracks. And somebody knows that they've been holding back from their friends and family and whomever. It can be feels like a humiliating situation where somebody has realized now that they've grown into the Empress energy that it's time to go. I hope this isn't your situation. I'm just going to leave this here, though. I think I am going to upload this. I hope you're well. I hope you get out of it if this is you. And please contact the nearest place or person that you trust the most to help you get out of this situation if this is you and you need that. I'm going to go for now. Thank you guys for being here and watching. I do appreciate you. Thanks, collective. I'm up for now. Take care. Bye-bye.